Hello, everybody. It's Ashavari, your community manager here at Skyweaver, and today we are doing our bi-weekly patch note streams. But today it's a major patch day, which means we've got some really big updates to share with you. But before we get into all of the details of some of these major updates, I just want to say a few things to address a few things that have been ongoing in our community while you're here. So the first thing I just want to talk about is in relation to our bugs and server issues that we've been having. If you've been playing Skyweaver a lot lately, you may have noticed that there have been some outages over the past 2 weeks or so. So just so you know, our devs have been investigating and working and fixing. We had a little bit of downtime earlier today, just for a short amount of time to get our servers nice and beefed up. So a lot of these issues should have been resolved now. A lot of them had impacted things like sign-in and wallet, etc., and also things related to balances to a degree. However, there are still some other bugs and some other issues that are persisting in the game that we are investigating and are trying to get a handle of as soon as we can. So with this patch, we will introduce fixes for some things, but there will be other things that are a little bit more ongoing. So I just want to say thank you for your patience and thank you for all your testing, because we really appreciate all of these reports and everything that you have yet. Bacon, it would be so nice if we had any control at all over these outages, but they were a bit like uncontrollable and you know, didn't really expect it to happen when they did, of course, because we do not want any outages. But the one that we had to do today for maintenance reasons was to deal with the ongoing outages, just so you know. And also, you are always free and welcome to use our support page to report anything. We also have our Discord channel for the beta bugs. The beta bugs channel is now open to everybody to post in who has access to the game. So please do your best to filter your bugs and issues that you're having in that channel. It's just nice when it's all in one place, because we can address multiple at once in one channel, and all of our devs can just use that and zone in. So just wanted to say that. One more thing before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of our, or rather spice and Maldon of our patch stream, is I just want to touch on a few of the geo restrictions and negative impacts that we've sort of had and seen in the community recently. So once again, really sorry to have to abruptly start some of these restrictions so early, with only, you know, like September 3rd just around the corner. But please, I just want to reiterate that this is due to legal policies in place that impact all blockchain companies, especially in the US and Canada. So it's not just Canada, it's not just the US, it's a combination of restrictions on both that impact us from all these different fronts. It has to do with things like, you know, licenses, things like regulatory and like economic reasons, a bunch of legal like sanctions. The combination of all of these various restrictions, thank you for the follow, by the way. The combination of all of that is why there are these like hard restrictions. So these are going to be going live September 3rd, as we've communicated. And we do want to just give you some notice, which is why we're putting this in now. Every blockchain company does have to deal with this on some level. Otherwise, there are really high risks for both us as a company, but also the players. So we're doing this to protect not only us, but you as well. And I know it really sucks, and we're really sorry. Hopefully one day these bans and restrictions and things like that, limited access, etc., will be lifted, and that would be the ideal scenario for us all. But for now, we do have to comply, because blockchain is one aspect of our game and our dApps, and the thing is, there are all these policies impacting all of these other portions of our product, so we do have to comply, because the law is the law. Okay, so yeah, anyways. Also, I would like to say that we do not support the use of VPN. Just so that everybody knows, we do not support it, and choosing to do so comes at your own risk. So please keep that in mind. But with that said, I'm going to get into some of the exciting stuff in this patch now, because this is a really cool patch, and I'm so glad you're all here right now. This is going to be beautiful. So are you ready for some spice and Maldon, or some spite and malice? All right, cool. Let's get into this. What binds this dangerous duo? All right. Are you ready? Coulter is now our lizard confirmed. Okay, so new features first and foremost. Look, we've got a new way to inspect your cards. This is a much more logical way to look at all of the things that are going on in each card. And when you click on one, you can see what it means and what that entails. This is really, really, really great and just makes it easier for everybody. So it's an enhanced user interface for just really getting into the weeds and reading everything you need to know. So just tap the card and swipe or scroll through to see everything related to it. Yeah, love this one. We also added pebbles and flint particles when tapping different parts of the island. So have fun. Maybe do an ASMR stream if you're like me and just like tap, 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 tap. If you want, you know, like have fun with that. We've also added some sound variations to the island taps, like fireworks and card summons and card deaths. So enjoy. These are super, super fun. And oh my God, I don't know why I read your comment, Squirrel, as this is fit. And I'm like, fit? I'm like, is that a new slang I don't know about yet? But no, this is lit. Yes. Fire. Okay, so, and now I'm super excited to show you the new Conquest mode play screen. Oh my gosh. This will make it so much easier to view the gold minted cards during the week now. Okay, I'm just going to get to it. Are you ready for the reveal? I'm going slow, people. The anticipation. All right, I'm speeding it up. Look at the new Conquest play screen. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Like, literally so beautiful. Like, look, get tickets on the top there. Pog as heck. Oh my gosh, the weekly rewards right underneath so you can see the beautiful shiny gold cards. And you keep scrolling. Look at all this. All the info you need. 500 silver is available. What? How does Conquest work? What? Okay, so the more you win, the better your reward. Oh my gosh, we love this. We actually love this. And this exactly tells you what you're going to get when you win 1 versus 2 versus 3. So this is actually beautiful. So I'm just going to go over it again for anyone who's tuning in right now. The beautiful new Conquest play screen. I love it. It's beautiful. We're just taking in the beauty here. I really like these effects and this design on these cards here. It just makes me happy. And I hope it makes you happy too. So we're going to keep scrolling down and let's keep going. Alrighty. So, I think I was supposed to ask you this question. Okay, we're just going to go through either way. I'm so sorry for ruining the question and answer. What is the difference between the stock number in the Skyweaver market and the minted number on the Conquest page? So, the stock of a card reflects the amount available to be purchased on the Skyweaver market. And the minted count reflects how many cards of that type have been awarded via Conquest. So, in essence, the maximum supply that could exist in the world. Okay? Does this make sense to everybody? Does anybody have any questions? Do you want me to explain this or break it down anymore? But yeah, so stock, how many can be purchased at a given time? Minted, total amount that exists, like the total supply altogether. So minted, total supply, stock available to be purchased. Cool? In essence, yes. So, well, okay, we're gonna go. Yeah. Pretty much. So, now we're going to go into some improvements that we have. And here we have the card text will no longer word wrap in the middle of phrases like 0 mana or +1 power. This should increase the legibility on all the cards, which is really good. It'll make it easier to read. We love accessible cards, right? Oh my gosh, Bacon. Wow, that's quite a move. Then the end turn button is now visible and clickable through the deck sidebar. So, awesome. Let's keep going now into some of our... Wait, confused by what? Are we talking about the stock and minted thing? Or something else? Which one are we talking about? It's okay. We will just keep reiterating the stock versus mint thing. Don't worry. We'll keep letting people know this. I will take a screenshot and I will paste it everywhere in the community, if anything. So, not to worry. We will explain you can always ask me questions whenever they come up. So now we've got the bug fixes. So we fixed a bug that disabled the get tickets button in the Conquest play screen. And we fixed a number of bugs related to reconnects, including the one that manifested as expected 0 emissions. We also fixed a bug where the emote pop-up could open to the side too early. And we fixed multiple bugs causing the wrong ranked badges to be displayed. So this is all we fixed for this patch, okay? For the other issues that, like I mentioned earlier, these are issues that will be kind of like rolling fixes. So I will post hot patches and updates whenever those come into effect. So please just keep your eye on that known issues post, whether it's the blog post called known issues or the one in the channel on Discord, or even like just sending me questions via tickets on our support page. Just keep that in mind, okay? Cool. So I think now we are ready for the fun part that I know you're all here waiting for. So thank you, Bacon. We really appreciate that. But I'm going to introduce Coulter now. Hello, Coulter. Do you want to say anything as an overview first?
No, I'm still thinking about the minted versus the minted versus available ones. Because what I'm not sure is what happens if someone were to convert a silver card into a ticket, if that would reduce the minted number. I'm not sure if it's like the live minted or total minted all time. So that got me thinking. But anyway, yeah, hello everyone. So welcome to patch 74. We have a few more tweaks and tune-ups to underperforming and underused cards, and we worked on cleaning up a few other confusing or overly complex effects to make them simpler and cleaner for new and old users alike. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Let's get into it then. Let's go to Rubble Devil. Double? Wow, I can't talk today. Rubble Devil, everybody. Rubble Devil. Okay, so we have removed Wither from Rubble Devil, and the text effects changed to summon, you lose 1 mana next turn. Why did you make this change to Rubble Devil?
Rubble Devil was really underplayed, and honestly, for what you get, the loss of a max mana really wasn't worth it. Like, if you compare Rubble Devil to other 3-drops, like even stuff like Browl or which also wasn't really played, or just trying to think like Oliphant or stuff like that, getting the 2 extra attack and Wither at the cost of blowing up one of your max mana really was a bit of a bridge too far. We'll have to see how this does. It seems like it could be pretty powerful, but you're effectively paying 4 mana. You're paying 3 now and 1 later to get a 4/5, so that's not really that unreasonable. Getting it out a little bit early isn't bad, but if you were to mana potion it out turn 1, basically you have 4. You got like 4 mana worth of value turn 1, but then you only have 1 mana next turn. So it seems pretty interesting. I think the fact that the effect is on summon will be pretty powerful, or it will make it work more detrimental than it did when it was on death in the short term, because you can't mitigate it. So it's nice in that, like, if your opponent, it still hurts you even if your opponent can't kill it, whereas before it could lead to high roll scenarios where if your opponent didn't have an answer, then it was great, and if they did, it was terrible. So
cool.
Less all or nothing now.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next card down here, which is Blade Master. And the change basically went from having no spell to now having Fury. Ooh, that's a good change. And that's kind of scary in my opinion. So why did you want to buff this card in particular?
Yeah, we don't actually have that many instances of Fury in the game. And this was a card that was definitely underperforming and a bit underused. But I wanted to buff it a bit, but because it can be gotten down, because it can be played really early on, it's kind of risky if it were like a 5/4 or something. Like, you could potentially play this for 2 mana. It seemed a bit too scary, so we made it better when it lives rather than make it more likely to live. It's still fragile and can be dealt with fairly easily, but it's more dangerous if your opponent can't remove it. So, and it's a bit of a higher priority target to remove. So. Yeah, it should make it a little better without making it like dramatically better.
Yeah, true. Wow, this is exciting. I'm excited to play this in agility as well. Ooh, okay, so we've got talks now. So basically, it had only Wither as a trait, and now it's got both Stealth and Wither, but the power has been reduced to 3. So what was the reason for this birth tweak?
Yeah. I see some differing opinions. Bacon seems surprised, and Bumblegoo thinks that it's worse. I personally think this is a buff, more so than a nerf. Tox was really vulnerable to getting like hero attack down, so now having the stat line back, which is his kind of classic stat line, although he used to cost 2, but he didn't have the mana sapping effect. Just makes him a little more versatile, a little better overall. So yeah, again, just agility does have some really underperforming cards, so I wanted to tweak them a bit too. Although as a whole, agility's underperformers are still like on par with wisdom's middle of the road cards. So don't let it make you think that agility is too hard done by.
Cool. Okay, so let's keep on going then to Psyche. So the text effect went from summon the enemy draws a spell to now being, oh my gosh, clicking. Summon the enemy draws a card. Ooh, so any card, unit or spell. That's a nice simplification. Anything you wanted to say about Psyche?
Yeah, people have been talking about this, and as a possible change, and I didn't mind it. Having the enemy draw a spell is a little odd, so just having it do a standard draw seems fine. Just makes it a little simpler for new players.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's nice and sweet change to Psyche. So moving on along with Mimesis. I almost said Nemesis. I very much almost said Nemesis.
It's like memesis. It's like a combination of the word meme, which it used to be called, and the idea of
nemesis. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, that actually makes way more sense. This is hilarious. Yeah. Wait, out of curiosity, community, how have you been saying this? Have you been saying memesis or have you been saying memesis? Let me know. Okay, we have got a Ginorino mummysis? Mummysis? Is that what you said? Memesis over here. Memesis. Okay, Bacon, you're like me. I hear you. Memesis. It was meme, wasn't it? Memesis. Yeah, it is memesis. I guess we were in the minority. No emphasis on the second syllable. Oh, Salvatore. Memesis. Oh, you've also been saying memesis. Still calling it meme. Yeah, Memesis like Nemesis. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But actually, apparently, Coulter has just confirmed that it's memesis. Memesis. Okay, I'm sorry. I could go on about this for a while.
I'm just gonna, honestly, I should have just changed the name back to Ego Eyes, which it used to be.
No, you're good. And thank you, Katarina, for following us, by the way. Appreciate it. So, yeah, talk about the change here, Coulter.
Yeah, so bringing it into line with Psyche and also buffing Psyche a bit, it now doesn't just force draw spells. Having it force draw spells was a little weird for strength. I think it was because at one point this card was too strong on Psyche. It was too much of an effective reload. But again, the game as a whole has become more powerful as time has gone on, and the format is more based on mid-range brawling. So buffing up Psyche, who was languishing, isn't a big deal in my opinion. Or it's not a huge deal. It'll make him a little more useful in the meta for some like hand dumping strats. So it should be interesting to call it T-pose. Assert dominance, we'll call it.
Cool.
But yeah.
Sweet. I like it. What do you think, everybody? Let us know what you think of the change here. So we're going to keep going on to Viper Ambushes getting a change. All right, let's see what this change is. All right, so the text effect changed from if the enemy has a unit, summon 2 Viper with guard, to summon Viper with guard. If the enemy has a unit, summon 2 instead. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's actually cool.
So this is a card which could do nothing if you played it on its own, which was confusing for new players was the thing. Like if you're a new player and you play this and it does nothing, you could be frustrated and confused. So we tweaked it. A 2-mana 3/1 with guard is still really bad, so you still don't want to play it. But yeah, it makes it a little more versatile. It also might make Skyweaver better, because if you play her on 5, you can immediately cash it in for 1 Viper, which sometimes you couldn't do. Yeah. So yeah.
That's true.
I think it'll be good. It also helps new players sort of learn about sort of conditional effects like this, and isn't ever like, I play it, and then it's like, what happened?
Yeah. That's true. It's better than wasting mana for absolutely no reason. Yeah. That's true. That's cool. All right. Spite and Malice time, everybody. It's Spite and Malice time. So this is a bit of a tweak or a buff. But the power reduced to 1, health went up to 4, and it has barrier. All right. What was your reasoning behind this one, Coulter? We all need to know.
Yeah, so this is an interesting tweak. Basically, I wanted to give them barrier because they were really languishing and not that useful. But we had them as 2/3s with barrier before, and they were kind of terrifying. So what I did as a compromise here is by making it a 1/4, basically it makes it sort of worse because the stats are more extreme. So what can happen is, even though the 4/1 has barrier, what you can do is just zap the enemy hero's face with the damaging spell and then take 4 to your hero to punch it and kill it. So there is more counterplay. Also, any like wither will wither away the 1/4 to nothing so that you can just safely trade over it. So I think these more extreme stat lines should make them weaker a bit, which helps compensate for the fact that we're giving them barrier. Because again, they were really bad in the stats, like really not useful. So we got to
True.
Wanted to buff them, but also the 2/3 with barrier might be a little too over the top. Plus, the stat shift is now more extreme, which is fun thematically. So you get a 4/1 and a 1/4 rather than a 3/2 and a 2/3, which are more kind of bland and similar.
Cool.
So yeah, it's extreme now.
Cool. Awesome. All right. I'm going to keep going then, everybody, to Griff Scout over here. Griff Scout basically changed from being glory if armored guard isn't an ally, summon armored guard, to now just glory, summon armored guard, which makes a lot of sense. But I guess now you can get it no matter what, even if you do have armored guard. Nice. But also, it only has armor now, no stealth.
Yeah, so one of the big problems with Griff Scout was that it could get really snowbally, especially in Discovery, because it was like impossible to kill it if it had stealth and it started summoning guards. So we had to make this incredibly awkward text where it like checked to see if there was an armored guard, etc., etc. This is actually a pretty scary stat line in my opinion. Potentially, especially on 4 mana, you can make it a 3/3 armor guard, which for 4 mana really isn't that bad. So I think this is actually pretty powerful now, and we'll have to see how it does. Because I did compensate it. I give it like 2 buffs and 1 nerf. It lost stealth, but it got +1 health, and it also got a better glory effect now. So yeah.
Cool. That's sick. I like it. I like it. Scary change, but in like a good way at the same time. I'm excited to use it. Bill, we're bringing back the Bill. All right, next one here. We have upped Bill's power to 3. So did you find that he really needed a buff, Coulter, this time around?
He really was. Yeah, the nerf from last time really did knock him down a lot. So now as a 5 mana 3/3 that buffs all your ally units and units in your hand, he should be more appealing, I would say.
Yeah, true. Oh, I love Bill. Bill is really cool. Cool dude.
Yeah.
Cool Bill. Okay, so now...
He'll always manage to cause problems, though, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We're saying it's fine, but he's usually either too weak or too strong.
Okay. Orion time. We need to talk about Orion, everybody. We have added banner to Orion, which makes a lot of sense, but that is spooky. What was the logic behind buffing Orion with banner?
Yeah, the nerfs to Banjo aggro, like I was saying last week, were necessary, but also left Intellect in a bit of an awkward spot, so I don't mind buffing Orion up a bit more here. It means that maybe you can use the banner plus 1 more damage to trade over a 3/3 once it transforms the enemy units to 3/3, and it just gives it a bit more value generally. Plus, similar to Tiamat, the 3 keywords fits in with the 3 theme of Orion, so armor, guard, banner.
Yeah, true. That makes sense. That's actually really cool. I like that.
I think this actually used to be super busted. It was like 5 or 6 mana with the old effect where it only turned your units to 3/3 and it had armor, guard, and banner. So at 7 mana, it should be good.
Okay. Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's good. Shall we go on to puppet strings? There's a change here that we can talk about. So before, the text effect was draw and summon a 1-cost enemy unit, reveal a random card in the enemy hand, draw and summon a 1-cost, to now being, draw and summon a 1-cost enemy unit and reveal 2 random cards in the enemy hand. Okay, so what was the reason for this like teeny tiny buff here?
Yeah, it really, revealing 1 card was kind of a weird place. Most effects that reveal cards reveal at least 2, so just a little bit of a buff here to an underperforming agility card. Make it a bit more diverse.
Bacon, do you think that now with this change it will be less slept on, or what do you think about that? Or did you think it was already good before? I'm just curious. It's nice, it's just weird and edgy. Okay, fair. Good to hear your perspectives, everybody. I'm going to move along down, but I would love to hear all your thoughts. So keep posting in the chat so we can chat about it. You thought it was already good. Nice. Cool. So let's go down to Aqua Sword. Aqua Sword. Okay, Aqua Sword. It used to be give target unit +3/+1. If you have no mana, attach the spell to your hero with +1 cost. And now it's give target unit +3/+2. And if you have no mana, attach the spell to your hero with +1 cost. That's pretty good. That makes it spookier for sure. I actually love Aqua Sword.
Yeah, it's a fun card for sure. It's an interesting form of kind of card advantage by being to recast it. But yeah, it was really not doing that much at +3/+1, and I considered also potentially having it like attach vapors or something. But it is a strength card, so I wanted to keep it simpler. So yeah, this seems like it might be a good place for Aqua Sword, just to have it be more stats focused as a strength sword. Yeah, cool. I think it should be a pretty good place for this card.
All right, let's go on to the next one then, which is Throneblade. And basically, we've added guard to the already armored Throneblade. Anything you want to say about this card?
Yeah, it felt a little odd in Wisdom since it's more aggressive in terms of its design. It provides you a buff card and it is sort of aggressively statted. So I'm just to help it fit in with Wisdom more, it now has guard so that it feels more like a partial defensive tool.
Cool. How are we feeling about this? This is gonna be very interesting. I'm excited to see how these play out in some of the tournaments coming up. So let's go to Take Flight now. So basically the text effect used to be return target unit to hand and give it a +1/+1 -2 cost and attach shroud, to now being return target unit to hand, give it a +2/+2 and -2 cost and attach shroud. This is so easy to remember. I love it. Pretty intense buff here. And anything you want to say?
This is a card that's I think is actually pretty interesting. It's a pretty fun kind of. It's sort of like the inverse of a reanimation card in Heart, where you use it to put a living unit back in a hand so you can replay it and reuse its effects, rather than a card that raises the dead to reuse their effects. So it feels. I like the way it feels now, but it's just a bit weak currently. So now it's a little more strong, although it gets worse and worse to use on enemies because it keeps getting better and better when you use it on your own guys.
Definitely worse to use on enemies, that's for sure. Cool. So I'm going to keep going and we're going to go down now to Scorpio, and this is the last change of this patch, and basically we've changed the text effect here from summon attach fate to other ally units to now being summon attach fate to ally units. Is there anything you want to say at all?
This used to be a pretty big offender of like resource spam loops in like some Heart decks where you would use it with Jar of Souls and stuff and gain a ton of benefits that way. But yeah, now the metagame is sort of faster again, so I think that this is more acceptable. There are less resource grinding decks alive right now, so having something like this in the metagame, which is a bit more powerful. I mean, for Hearts to generate value. Heart to generate value seems pretty reasonable.
I think this is pretty good. I think overall, how are we feeling, everybody? This basically concludes the patch for today, right? So how are we all feeling about all of this? I think this is great. I love all the buffs. They make me excited. I'm super happy to play again. And like, you know, maybe I was playing agility earlier today on my stream and I was getting wrecked. Like anyone who was there and saw that, like shout out to you. Thanks for sticking with me through it. But man, I'm looking forward to running some of these up in some of my decks and seeing how it goes. But yeah, amazing patch. Fire is going to be crazy. Yes, this patch is fire as a whole. Am I right? Like, especially this new like Conquest screen. Hello. New play screen. And also the beautiful new scroll card inspection system. Lots of changes, lots of new features. Hello, Putty Tang. Welcome. But yeah, gonna update your guide, huh? That's exciting. Well, thank you for creating that, honestly. Anyways, that concludes all of today's patch, and thank you all for tuning in. You can always ask me questions in Discord, and I will catch you all offline or online, I guess, in other channels. So with that, now everybody take care and have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Time, everyone.